Hey, you guys, welcome back. We today are going to have a monthly market update for the greater Birmingham area. And because this is the beginning of 2026, we actually have a recap for the entire year of 2025. And so these are numbers that are going to be impactful for you because it helps you understand what market we are in currently. And then that helps you and your family make better decisions for when you have real estate goals, buying, selling, or investing.
That's right. And actually, before we get to the numbers, we should talk about noise. Like, what is noise? Because we hear this a lot. Like, hey, how's the market going? And then there's always a little bit of, well, has the other shoe dropped yet? And to be honest with you, I'm going to share the data. We're not seeing any evidence of shoes dropping at all. So keep
it's not falling.
Keep your red soles on your feet. You're good to go. No, the sky is not falling. And I do think everybody realizes that when you're on social media, the more dramatic you make something sound, whether it's true or not, the more clicks you get. And so if you make your money with clicks, I understand putting it out there, that's not what our goal is. Our goal is not to make money through clicks. Our goal is to be the real estate experts of choice here in Birmingham, Alabama. So we're going to run through these numbers. This is for, as you said, Central Alabama. This is our entire MLS, not just our brokerage, although our brokerage is strong and amazing and quite large. But these numbers are for the entire Central Alabama MLS. All right, you ready? So this is our 2024 December versus 2025 December. And so for the number of units sold, which is the number of properties that transacted, the buy sides as well as the sell sides, there were 3,166 properties sold in 2024. In 2025, 2,995 properties. That's about a 5.4% decrease in December this year versus December the previous year. But volume, dollars. So in other words, that was the number of properties, the number of dollars transacted. December 2024 was $994 million. For December 2025, $989 million, and that's about a 5.1% increase. But as our leadership here at Keller Williams frequently reminds us, it's not about what is one month compared to the other. It's about, let's take a zoomed out view of the year. So year to date, here in Central Alabama, in 2024, there were 41,125 pieces of properties that transacted. In 2025, there were 40,895 properties, and that's about a decrease of 0.5%, which is relatively flat year over year. The number of dollars transacted in real estate here in our MLS in 2024 was $12.9 billion. In 2025, $13.7 billion. That is about a 5.8% increase in the number of dollars or the revenue that was transacted. It's a significant increase. What's interesting about that 13.7 billion? There's over 400 brokerages here in Central Alabama. 400. Our one brokerage. Keller Williams Realty, Keller Williams Vestavia, our one brokerage, not all the Keller Williams, just the one brokerage. We had last year, in this past 2025, we did $1.02 billion.
Amazing.
$1.02 billion. And I cannot thank our leadership enough. So, days on market. Again, when you look at days on market in 2024 versus 2025, and again, we've got so many friends that reach out to us and say, oh my gosh, they're sitting forever. It's actually not what we're seeing. What we're seeing in 2024, the average days on market was 58. In 2025, it's 62. That's about a 7% increase. That's not a massive increase. It just feels that way because in the 4 or 5 years ago, signs were going up and down in a matter of weeks. Now we're getting back to a much a much more healthy, much more balanced time on the market.
Which helps if you're a buyer and you see a house has been on the market for 48 days, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with the house. That just means it is statistically within the amount of time that it takes to sell a home, and vice versa. If you're a seller and your house has been sitting on the market 50 days, it doesn't mean anything's wrong with your house either.
Right.
It means that it's within the statistical range of when it will sell. So that's how it helps you as a buyer or seller not to get panicked in the market that we're currently in.
That's exactly right. That's right. All right, let's talk about the average price. The average price per transaction in 2024 was a little over $315,000. In 2025, it's a little over $335,000, which that's about a 6.4% increase. So what are we saying? The number of transactions from 2024 versus the number of real estate transactions in 2025 stays relatively flat year over year.
Right.
Not a big change at all. However, the average house price has actually gone up by about 7% in 25 versus 24. Right. What does that really mean? Here's what it means. Again, when we go back to our conversation about noise, there are a lot of people out in the social media world that enjoy dramatizing. Stirring the pot. Trying to choose my words and be positive and professional. But honestly, the more dramatic or the more scary, the more frightening, the more clicks they get. And though that's not always based on data, what Brandy and I want to do is to be the expert, the choice, the solid, you can trust this.
Right.
And in order to do that, we can slice and dice numbers so many different ways, but that's why in this conversation, we've really held it to the number of transactions, the dollars transacted, and the days on market and the average price. As you look at those, we're not seeing an impending doom that was forecasted in 2021 and in 2022.
Right.
Here we are, fast forward, we're in 2026, and things are looking stronger than ever. We could talk about interest rates. We could talk about what's forecast in 26. That's a totally different subject. I think it's a different video. But for right now, the landscape of real estate in Central Alabama looks really, really healthy.
Well, and I think there might be somebody out there who goes, yeah, but inflation, Mike. Inflation made those numbers go up. But what's the reality of the inflation numbers? Well,
so for 2025, the average American inflation is 2.7%. With the average house price going up, it's, I said 6.4%. I mean, if you take that out, you're really kind of left with about 4% of increase in value. And for those who've been around Brady and I for a while, you'll know that historically in Alabama, the real estate grows in value approximately 4% a year. And guess what?
And that's been since 1970. So that's not just like numbers we're making up since 2020. Like since 1970, year over year, 4% increase. And we're right on top of that.
That's right. That's right. So we hope this has been really helpful to you. It's been fun for us.
Yes.
And again, if you have specific questions or you want to reach out to us here in Central Alabama, certainly feel free to do that. You can direct message us. You can email us info@mbrownrealty.com. We're Mike and Brandy Brown with Keller Williams Realty, Birmingham, Alabama. Thank you.